Juggalos in recovery. Juggalos in recovery. Juggalos in recovery.
But tonight, our meeting is just like that, navigating changes when plans take a shit. So, life's full of surprises, and often when we least expect it, plans can change. We get caught up in the excitement and anticipation of this certain path, only to have the rug pulled out from under us. While initially it can be disheartening, these unexpected shifts can be valuable opportunities for us to learn some shit. And learning to embrace that unknown, we explore that experience of being excited about that specific plan only for things to change unexpectedly. We will be talking about the emotions and the challenges and potential for personal and shit development that happens in this moment of flux when all of a sudden you've just got to figure out what to do now that everything is different than what you expected. So there's this unique thrill that kind of comes with having a well laid plan. It fuels our motivation, provides a sense of direction, it ignites our excitement. Whether it's a long awaited vacation, a career opportunity, some kind of personal milestone, we invest our time and energy into envisioning those details, picturing the outcomes, and eagerly awaiting the moment when the plan actually comes out, goes into full effect. That anticipation builds and our enthusiasm can reach its peaks. But life always has a way of throwing unexpected shitballs when we least expect them. Just when we are on the verge of seeing our plans unfold, circumstances can abruptly shift, leaving us feeling disoriented and disillusioned. It can be an unforeseen change in circumstances, external factors beyond our control, or even a sudden realization that your original plan just kind of sucked ass. Regardless of the cause, the disappointment and confusion that follows can be overwhelming. When those plans change out of nowhere, that whirlwind of emotions can ensue. We may experience frustration, sadness, a sense of loss for the original vision that we had crafted so carefully. The sudden detour can evoke feelings for uncertainty, doubt, and even fear of what is yet to come. It's natural to feel a sense of resistance as we grapple with the discomfort of relinquishing the familiarity and security of the shit that we had already planned out. However, within that unexpected turn lies that opportunity for some new ways to think about shit. It is in times of uncertainty and change that we are pushed to adapt, not to be a bitch, and to tap into our inner strength rather than resisting the new circumstances. We can choose to embrace that change and approach it with an open mind. Shifting our perspective allows us to see the silver linings that may be hidden within whatever that detour may be. So when these plans change, it opens up this realm of new possibilities. The shift might lead us towards new unexplored nettings, introduce us to new experiences, or push us outside of our comfort zone. By being open to that unexpected, we may stumble upon opportunities that we would have never known or even thought of in our original plan. It is through these detours that we learn to be flexible, creative, adaptable, and ultimately broadening our horizons and shit. Navigating through these unexpected changes builds our resilience and our character. It teaches us valuable lessons such as the importance of letting go of attachment to specific outcomes and embracing just the adventure of getting to an end. It cultivates the ability to adapt to the problem solving shit, to find strength in the face of uncertainty. By accepting and learning from these unexpected shifts, we become more equipped to handle more challenges with more resilience and less give a fuckery. While it can be disheartening when we when our plans change out of nowhere, we must recognize that those unexpected changes are a normal part of life. We never really get to plan out absolutely everything that we end up doing. So when things suddenly change, you have to almost expect it and be aware of how you're going to deal with that unexpected change. So let's talk about some examples of plans suddenly making an abrupt stop and how we get to deal with that hypothetical bullshit. So let's say you were making a plan to go see a movie with a few homies and last second they drop out. You always have that option of just doing the thing without them, or you could just choose to do something different. We don't have the ability to control what others do. So sometimes you just have to make the best of that type of shit situation. Maybe you really need to reevaluate how good of friends they are if they cancel on you last minute. Because, if that's a reoccurring trend, maybe they're not that good of friends. Let's say your boss suddenly calls you in on your day off and denies your vacation requests. In my personal opinion, I would tell that boss to go fuck himself in the most professional way possible. But that's me. If you absolutely have to go in, I would just set aside the funds from that day and maybe dedicate it to paying for a thing that only serves you. Because, if you have to go in and do a thing that you never planned on doing, it may as well be funding a new thing for you to go do when you're not at work. Well, let's say you have a date planned with your lovely pole or your lovely hole, and they cancel last minute. Go ahead and go on that date just for yourself, because sometimes you just need to treat yourself. Everybody can go down to your local store and get yourself a lovely hole or a lovely pole that doesn't come with extra bullshit or them canceling on you last minute, going flaccid, or being dry. Those are all up to you. You don't have to deal with the emotional trauma of dealing with humans. But with that, I'm going to open it up to the room and see if anybody else has any other options for dealing with abrupt stops. Go ahead, D.
Hell yeah. So you said disillusionment. I love that. I love that. I've had so many plans from last year's gathering, this year's gathering. My life has been fucking chaotic as shit. It's like those little fucking lightning bolts going all through the cloud all year long. If this is one thing, it's another. And it's been
Yeah.
stressful. And all I can do is just fucking deal with it and go with the flow of whatever's happening. And it's been draining. It's been mentally taxing. It's been, as you said, a shit ball. And I've just tried to make the most of it over the last year. You know what I mean? Enjoy the little bit of downtime I get or the family time, which isn't nowhere near as much as I'd want it to be just because of the work hours, just to be able to pay bills or do whatever. And it's just been a little disheartening, like you said, disillusionment. Like buying a house, getting married, moving out, doing all this stuff, and you're like, oh, everything's gonna be great, and then like you get all the life stress and the responsibility, and all the time that you have to spend to have this little bit of time. It's taxing over the year, and I think just in life in general, it's been taxing. Where like you're saying, I might not be the best friend to some people. I don't always show up to everything I want to do. I just don't have it in me all the time, man. And a lot of times I still suit up and boot up when I'm not even in a mental place to do things. And that's those moments that still, help strengthen me through all the bullshit. And this last few weeks there's been blessings in it, just like I was talking to you before the meeting. Yeah, there's a shitstorm going on, but if this shitstorm going on, I wouldn't went from my town to the next town over, bumped into somebody else who is a juggalo, who is also in recovery, or I wouldn't have this new sponsee and see the magic working in him and pushing him through his steps, or I wouldn't meet the people I meet in these meetings, and I wouldn't meet the different people in my life if I was just to sit there and do nothing while all the shit's going on. So
Right.
like And I was kind of apprehensive, like, because I know I mentioned to my boss, like, yeah, I'll be going next year. And I mentioned earlier in the year, and I was kind of like, it's getting closer and closer. I need to remind him because I know he doesn't remember, like, hey, I'm going to be leaving this day, coming back this day. This is what I'm doing. He's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm just blessed I got good bosses and a good family and a good network of people. And they definitely make it easier during the tough times. And I think the tough times are even tougher just because I'm kind of like a loner in a sense, I'll just call
Hmm.
people to vent all my bullshit. Like when I see you, I see you. When I talk about it. Like, and that kind of like, weighs on you and taxes you over time. Like right now, my eyes just want to go to sleep, and I'm still at work until 11, and I don't want to come in tonight because everything else is done went on today.
Yeah, I feel that. I still have to go be responsible when this is over. Now, not everything is always going to be easy, but it's how you deal with the situation at hand that truly matters. Let's go ahead, Sky. What do you got?
I totally feel you on that, D, and I'm sorry you're going through that, man. I totally get it what you mean about feeling like burnt out and overwhelmed. How navigation at times it feels like you just it's so much that you end up doing nothing. And same with like bad communication. Like, damn, I used to have like a lot of free time to text Josie because I wasn't going too much of any place, but now I got like all kinds of different projects going on, so I'm not able to respond, and I feel bad. But then like you were saying, D, you got to take the moments to yourself to recharge. Just put the phone down, put it on do not disturb, and go do something you love and pass out. And then what you said too, Chris, about navigation. I know one of the things I've been trying to work on is viewing things not as like permanent, but an obstacle to overcome. How do I get around this? I don't have to be stuck in it. I mean, fuck, man. There's already like two examples that come to mind this year. Frickin' my friend had a newborn kid, so he can't go to the gathering. So it was like, shit, I don't want to go by myself. Somehow, just by hanging out long enough, I'm now able to camp with Stone Huevos and Cyril. And oh shit, man, they're gathering veterans, and so I'm excited for them to show me the ropes and whatnot. And then, freaking right now, man, trying to change degrees. I'm bored, uninspired, and unmotivated by mine, and so trying to do all the background research on that is one of my projects to see if I can find somewhere else. Like I know today I just found out neuroscience might not be as profitable as biochemistry, so maybe I should stay. I don't know, but yeah, like you said, it's just not being afraid to fail. Just navigate, life's mysteries. Try, just try. You never know what will happen, and then if it doesn't work, get back up. And then the last thought I had was, this is hella coincidental because I was listening to the song Chrono by the Ghost Inside earlier today, and the whole song is about fear of navigating life, afraid that life will pass you by, and that you don't know what you're doing and you're lost. Easily one of like my favorite songs of all time, but I really felt that, especially when I was younger, man, starting off, a feeling of like desperation, the sense of loss, no direction, and then despair that brings and how hard it can be. But you're right, it's just over time, it's learning obstacles are not permanent. Nothing is permanent. You can get over it. You can get around it. You will outlast this. Like boxing, it might not be about how many punches you can throw, just how many you can take and still keep standing up. I don't know. It was a good one. I don't know what song this is, but I'm excited to look it up now.
Or go ahead, D.
So he mentioned like a song, and the meeting topic kind of had me thinking about this song that's been in my head, which I thought would make a good meeting topic. But maybe it's not always navigating life. It's your choice in life. And I've been bumping that new Three-Headed Monster album, and they have that song on there that says "Don't sell your soul." And it gives you the two flips of the coins. Like you could sell, you can go back to the drugs and alcohol, the criminal lifestyle, whatever, the easy way, right, and sell your soul out to to have those small intervals where life is easy and have the consequences behind it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And just like kind of give up because life gets too hard or the shit balls get thrown on you. You could sell out. You could sell your soul and take the easy way out. Or you can stand up and make a choice not to do that. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like that's sobriety and that's life, man. You're gonna get a whole bunch of curveballs. Are you gonna choose to stay strong and push through it? Are you gonna like choose to live in that day, live in that moment, and take it for what it is, or are you gonna take the easy way out and give up on yourself and life and everything you've been doing? You know, which is essentially just selling your soul for the easy fix to a situation. You know. Because
Right.
sometimes you can't navigate. Sometimes you can't navigate the bullshit. It's out of your control. You can only navigate how you choose to feel and how you choose to react to all the situations going on. You know, are you gonna curl up in a ball? Are you gonna get high? Are you gonna run? Or are you gonna sit through it and push through the storm and see what happens afterwards? You know, I think that's the rough part. That's what's mentally draining and mentally taxing is when you don't have control of all these situations. You could have all these good plans, like you said, that make you excited and do all that, and then you can get that curveball thrown at you and get the wind knocked out of you, man. You know that and feel disillusioned, like you said, disheartened because all these things you thought are not going the way they were planned, and you don't have a situation. You don't have a choice in the situation, but to push forward and go, okay, what am I doing now? Where
Mhm.
am I going now? And that's the rough part because that's when it puts you in that fight or flight mindset. You know what I mean? Like, are you going to fight back? Are you going to keep pushing? Or are you going to sell out and go to the easy way? You know, and that's a hard thing for a lot of us that are in recovery. Is it's so easy to say fuck it and go do all the bad shit. It's hard to stay
Mhm.
there and stay strong and stay doing the right shit.
100% agreed, man. I think, like we said in the previous meeting, it's easier to go downhill than uphill. Nah, man,
Yeah.
you said some good shit, dude. I really like that.
All right. Does anybody else have anything to share on tonight's topic? Dope.